Hello and welcome to Into You, the podcast where I take a deep dive into getting to know the best you. My name is Adam Straughan, and today I have with me someone who is so ridiculously talented it makes me a little bit sick. She is a 23-year-old classically trained singer from London, and she's appeared in such musicals as Sweeney Todd on the West End and the UK tour of Phantom of the Opera. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome to the podcast Lydia Gerrard. How are you doing, my lovely?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm very good, thank you. I'm a little bit tender because I was out last night for my birthday, but other than that, happy to have been able to leave the house.
Yeah, brilliant.
How are you?
I'm really, really good, thank you. Yeah, I've had a lovely day. I went to the gym and I got some stuff done around my flat. Like, when you just have things that you put off for like let's be real, a hot few weeks. Yeah, so I got all of that done today, so I'm feeling really, really good. Yeah, like a hot month, maybe a hot couple of months.
You always feel so much more productive when you get it all done as well, and you just feel fresh.
Don't you? 100%. You're just cleaning everything out. You stand.
I need to have one of those days.
Oh, honestly, when they come and when they arrive, they're the best days ever. So yeah, I've had one of those. So everything's done, everything's ready. But how's your week been? What have you been up to?
It's been one of those weeks where I've had spontaneous plans, like left, right, and centre. People have been like, "Oh, I've just got back from being away at home and I'm going to be in town for a couple of days. Do you want to meet up?" And like, I've not seen them in a year. People from drama school that I've met up with, it's just been really nice catching up with people.
Definitely.
But and obviously the football.
Yeah, it's been a week, right?
I wasn't interested in football until now.
Okay. Did you kind of get together with your friends and like watch the match, or?
Yeah, it was my friends and our family friends. My family and our family friends. And I have never really been interested in it. It's always just been a bit of background noise to me, but I'm interested now. And we have such a good team, and I feel like we have such a good chance on Sunday. Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, literally. I'm exactly the same. I've never been a big football fan, but when it's England, it's like it's your own country. You've got to kind of step up and like support, really, right? Especially because they're doing so well, as you said. Lydia, let me first say happy birthday as well. Big 2-3 takes me back.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very, very much. Our little chat before we started recording, we're both cancers. So both within a couple of days of each other. So happy birthday.
Really emotional.
I know, right? Like heart right here on the sleeve.
Emotional.
Let me tell you the story of how we met. So I was at work. I'd just gotten down to King's Cross, and then it was a weird moment where it was really nice outside, as you remember. And I was kind of like, do I go upstairs for my break or do I go outside? And it was literally like that 50-50 moment if I could go that way. And I was like, it's a nice day, I'll go outside. And then when those doors opened and I heard that voice, I was like, wow, like seriously. I remember I kind of like stopped and I stared like at you and you were just there. And I was like, oh my God, like she is amazing. And there was two of my colleagues that were over in the distance and they were just like looking at me and they were mouthing like, oh my God. And I was like, I know. And then I just sat down and just had my food and I just obviously was watching you and listening. And then that's when I kind of stood and I think we kind of waved at each other at one point. And I was just standing, I was like, oh my God, you're amazing. I was like, I am going nowhere until like literally the last minute that I have to leave. And obviously that's when I did. But incredible. You blew me away. How long were you there for?
Thank you. I do 2-hour slots. And can I just say, I remember you so clearly standing. I'm pretty sure you had a suitcase, but there was also this like, you were standing in front of this panel thing. Yeah. And I was just thinking how busking has been like such an important thing for me. It's really helped me with my confidence and it's helped me fund my course at drama school. But also I feel like someone's time is like the most precious thing they can give you. And the fact that you stood there for so long, I was so desperate to thank you, but I think I missed you going off at the end and I looked back to where you were and you weren't there and I was like, I know that he's going to message me on Instagram and I'm going to thank him. So thank you so much.
No, of course. Like I always appreciate amazing talent like that. And, like I just had to, there was nowhere else I was going to go on that break. I had to listen to every time you announced a song you were going to sing, I was like, this is a banger. I need to hear this. I loved it, honestly. What a great mixture though. You had songs from like all like from film, and then you had songs from obviously musicals from the West End as well. And you got to really show the range of your voice as well, which is incredible. Honestly, you killed it.
Yeah, I think when you're busking, you need, obviously, I always like gauge the audience. My mum's always saying to me, you need to have a set list because all you do is and ah, because I'm always like, oh, what should I sing next? But you just have to read the room and see, who's around you. And there were a lot of people that day who liked musical theatre who were singing along. So I was like, well, I'm obviously going to sing more musical theatre songs. But then there's sometimes, if there's a bit of a lull, I'll just switch it up and go for something completely different and hope that it might turn some heads and be like, oh, that sounds different.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, you did. Especially like I think The Greatest Showman had like one of the best reactions when you did Never Enough, and like everyone was just like, and me in particular.
That one's quite popular.
Yeah, it's a huge song and everyone knows it, right? So as soon as that's coming out,
it is a great song.
It's a brilliant song. So yeah, I want to get into kind of you then, Lydia. So you kind of hinted there. Are you still at drama school now? Is that what you're doing kind of in your life at the moment, or?
No, so I did a 1-year course, 2018 to 2019. So like I did my normal A levels because my mum and dad have always said, have a backup plan, get your A levels done, and and I did, and I kind of enjoyed it. I was quite academic as well, so I didn't really mind it, although I did kind of want to just be singing, but I did a lot of singing in my spare time anyway. And then after A levels, I think I busked for 3 years.
Wow.
2.5 years, and then went to drama school. And I think that space gave me time to kind of, I had singing lessons in that time, and I just enjoyed myself as well. I went to see loads of shows with my mum, because my mum was working half days at the time. So whilst everyone was out of the house, my sister was at school, my dad was at work, I was just like going to the theatre with mum and seeing matinees and just kind of opening my eyes to what I really, really wanted to do. And then I went to drama school for a year, and it was absolutely incredible. I didn't think I wanted to go to drama school, and then I walked into the audition room of LSMT and I was like, this is where I want to go. And because it's only 1 year, like my attention span could not hack much longer than that. And it was amazing. It was really intense. We had private auditions with agents at the end. I think it was like 2 weeks worth of just drilling private auditions.
Wow.
And it was amazing. And it opened up so many doors to me. And then I got Phantom of the Opera tour the summer I left LSMT.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, wow. And obviously we'll get into Phantom a little bit more as well, but wow. I mean, as well, to be busking for like 3 years. I mean, that's crazy, but that's incredible as well. And what a brilliant experience to like hone your skills and perform to literally the general public, which is what you're going to be doing. So let's go back in time, Lydia, to when you first kind of started performing. So when did that happen? Obviously I'm guessing you were a much younger age. When was it that you got into kind of singing?
So I have always been into kind of putting on performances and extra living life from the start, and I would always, anytime someone came around, I'd sit them down and be like, okay, I'm going to do a show now. Just really annoying child, but it's all I've ever wanted to do. And I remember there was a girl at school who, her mum really wanted her to get into musical theatre and she didn't really want to do it. So her mum imparted her knowledge onto my mum because my family had no idea about the industry. There's no musicality in the family. And she just gave us some really good advice, which kind of clubs to go to, which Saturday schools. And I joined the church choir because they told me that they went on a trip to Thorpe Park the year before. And I was like, I really want to go to Thorpe Park. 8 years old, desperate. That's why I joined. And our trip was to a cathedral and I've never got over it. I feel scammed. But no, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. And we sung at weddings and that kind of opened me up to the more kind of classical type of singing. And then I went to Sylvia Young's Saturday class, singing, acting, dancing. Was an appalling dancer and was like, I don't want to do it. mostly because they made us do press ups and sit ups and that, and I was lazy and that was
Whoa,
not my
what?
thing. Yeah, and then I kind of realized later on, I was like, okay, I need to get back into the dance. So yeah, I did musical theatre. That's kind of where I learned musical theatre, and my first musical theatre classical crossover song, I heard someone sing "Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again," and I went, I want to sing that song and I want to sing it right now. And I just went home and I learned it and I sung it for my mum, and my mum was just like, I've never heard you sing like that. I kind of was dabbling in pop and didn't really realize that there was a crossover of classical and musical, and yeah, so it was kind of that got me into it. And then I did a lot of amateur dramatics, as well as always doing school productions. I was in Hansel and Gretel and I was the witch, and I broke my wrist.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm not letting anyone go on in my space. And so I went on with the cast, although I think someone had to do a couple of shows because I was like probably on the operating table, but I was so determined to
man. Absolutely. Like the witch, you don't give up that. Yeah, don't give up that for anyone. Wow. I mean, what a journey though. I love that. And I love that, it was your friend's mum who came along and was kind of like, right.
Yeah.
Imparted her experience and was like, you want to do this? I'll help you out. And was like, you've got to do this, and helped, obviously spoke to your mum as well and was like, right, get her doing these things. And that's amazing experience. And what a guide for you. It was so
helpful.
Yeah, massively.
I'm still in touch with her and her whole family, and they're wonderful.
Ah, nice one. I love that. So like, yeah, you know what? We have similar-ish pasts in that when I was younger. So I went to like drama schools myself. So I was doing like, I went to
Where did you go?
So this was just in the northeast of England. So I was doing kind of similar to you, like on a Saturday, I was doing one, and on Sunday, I was actually doing another one as well at one point. And I remember they were filming Billy Elliot at the time, obviously all based up in this end. And they were going to different drama schools. I remember like I didn't know what I was auditioning for. The team turned up. They didn't really say what it was, but they were like, oh, we're just looking for like a lad like from this kind of neck of the woods. Maybe has a little bit of a dance background, but it doesn't matter because you'll get training. I was like, all right, okay. And then like, they just came in and like, it wasn't really an audition. They were kind of just chatting to me really, and just like asking me general questions and just, I think getting a gauge for, just, are you right for the role type thing? And I remember I was in there for like maybe 40 minutes just chatting to them. And I was like, oh, okay, let's do it. And then like, it still went out. And I was like, what the hell was that? And it wasn't until like the week after that they were like, oh yeah, like, when you auditioned for Billy Elliot last week. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I was not told that. And I would have better prepared, but they kind of didn't want that. They just wanted to like have it more conversational rather than have someone ready with a monologue or something ridiculous like that. But so that's probably the closest I've come to like a big audition per se for that. But so I understand what you mean by kind of going on a Saturday, going on a Sunday, doing that. And you know what? It's at that age as well, it's really impressionable where you're kind of like, oh, I love this. Like, this is what I want to do. And, for all that my life isn't kind of in that area right now, career-wise, it is something I always keep in the back of my mind and think it's somewhere I'd like to go back to. And maybe one day I'll.
And also I think that even if that's not what you want to do with your career, I also think that drama lessons, anything theatre, is really good for your like personal growth and confidence anyway, and social skills. I think, and it's fun. Yeah,
absolutely. I completely agree with that. Like, I feel like I went into that drama school really shy, like so much more introverted. And then by the time I'd come out of like doing drama, 'cause I did it all the way in like college, like university, I went and did a master's in theatre and performance as well. And I really feel after that, like, it really opened me up and gave me so much more confidence just to talk with people and do what we're doing right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it has led to so many more things where, for all that I'm maybe not on a stage performing, but we're doing this right now, man. We're hanging out, and like, that's incredible. It's opened up doors in that way. So it can be really useful for that, right?
Yeah, 100%. I just think it's so nice to have the ability to speak to someone that you don't know and feel like you're talking with your friend. Do you know what I mean? On the train, I just chat to people. I think that's what I found really hard with COVID, because I'm such a people person. So now things are starting to open up again. You can speak to strangers on the train. Like, love it.
I love that. So like, I want to ask you about obviously singing lessons, Lydia. So you were saying like, obviously you were part of the church, and what's really interesting was, and I haven't actually told you this yet, but my dad is a classically trained singer as well. He was a tenor. So he's done a
Oh
lot
my
of,
gosh.
yeah, so he's done a lot of like Gilbert and Sullivan like performances and a lot of,
Oh,
you
I
know,
love Gilbert.
yeah, I know, right? So this was like when I was much, he doesn't do it now, but it was when I was much younger, he used to do a lot of these. So I remember going to see
Yeah.
him like perform in Gilbert and Sullivan and different things like that. But he started in the church as well. So
Yeah.
so as soon as you said that, that just rang true for experience for me, kind of, you know, my dad learning there. So when you went from the church to then, you know, classical like singing lessons, talk me, like break that down. How does that work in terms of a classical singing lessons?
Well, I'd say that the church choir, I, I suppose, gave me the foundation with the singing. That was kind of, it is kind of more classical, and the whole choral thing I think fits in quite nicely with classical music.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of also singing pop because that's what I was hearing on the radio, and
Yeah.
it never really suited my voice, and it was always the more like choral stuff that did. And then when I found musical theatre with Sylvia Youngs, and just in general doing these little Saturday classes wherever,
Yeah.
then we did that was it. I went straight into my first Amdram audition. I was 12 and I auditioned for Wendy and Peter Pan, and I got Peter.
Love
And
it.
it was amazing. Like we went on the wires and everything. It was the best. And then my parents, I think when they saw me do that, they were like, okay, we're not being biased now. This is obviously what she wants to do.
Yeah.
You know, she's got a talent, she can do it. And then they put me into singing lessons, kind of group singing lessons. And it wasn't until I started busking that I found my ride or die classical music singing teacher.
Right.
And I was put in touch with her through church. Someone in the church choir had worked with her husband or something like that. And she absolutely changed my voice. I trust her implicitly with, well, at the end of the day, it's my career, really, my voice.
Yeah.
And she gave me amazing training with the operatic techniques and stuff. And yeah, I always go back to her. Always. I actually went back to her last week for my first singing lesson since COVID.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I just think it's a really good base technique for a singer. But if you have classical training, I just think that it's a really healthy way to build up your voice.
Like, talk me a little bit about as well. So, you know, I mean, there must be like exercises that you do, and like, you know, breath control, like enunciation and everything like that. So what's entailed with that when it comes to the classical side of the lessons?
With her name's Christina. With Christina, when I first came to her, I think I had the bones of a good voice, but it didn't really tie together well. And as well, she really helped me with my mix. I didn't have much of a mix when I first started with Christina. I had a really good head voice and you know, chest voice, but I didn't really have a mix. And she helped me tie it together, and she gave me exercises that not only helped with hitting notes and stuff, but also sounding nice with singing through the vowels instead of like breaking everything up with consonants. I'm quite bad for that. And like my E vowels was really tight like this, and ooh and stuff. Like she just really helped me with my vowels. And then, I mean, I was seeing her, I think, for 3 years.
Wow.
Whilst I was busking, and the amount that she's taught me is, but it's just, it helped my voice mature as well, and like the constant practice was good. But now, like at the minute, I've been working with a speech therapist, and she's given me a kazoo, a massive singing straw, like a proper tube like this big.
Wow.
A cork. Yeah, it's mad the amount of exercises that you have to do. It's just so, I wouldn't have even thought of it. Like, who thinks a kazoo is going to be good for your voice? But it is.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what do you do with the kazoo and the straw and the cork? Like, tell me everything. I'm fascinated with it.
with the straw, it's like a flexible tube, and you put it in a glass of water, so like 3-4 fingers of water, and you just kind of blow bubbles into it, like, you know, when you're a kid and you're sitting at a restaurant and you're like yeah. And the steady stream of bubble, it's something about air pressure. I don't really understand it, but I just know it feels good. It feels like a vocal massage. And then with the kazoo, I think that's the abdominal stuff to make sure that you're properly engaging. Again, I don't understand it. I just do what she tells me because she's amazing. But yeah, I think it's called Lax Vox. The straw exercises, and then kazoo is obviously just the kazoo.
Yeah. Wow. No, I love that. It's never anything that, you know, if someone said to me, oh yeah, like, I mean, like you've just done now, and you said, oh yeah, we use a kazoo and we use a straw and everything like that for singing lessons, I'd be like, I'm sorry, like what? Because, you know, your normal default is you think, right, someone's got a piano,
so random.
You're going up the scale, and, you know, like that's the kind of normal thing that you think.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. How times have changed, right? I love that.
I know. What's something that's really amazing with Christina, my singing teacher, is that she gives me a lot of visual things. She'll say, you know, like, oh, this is what I teach my kids, and it really helps me. So if you're singing really high, if you're like going, if you're ascending, it helps to hold your hand like and at just like move it, and at like if you think low whilst you're singing high, it keeps the something about the larynx until I don't know, but it's just, and like stroking a furry tiger if you're going for a long legato phrase to keep it tied together. Just so many random things that you just wouldn't think make sense, and then as she tells you to do this as you do it, you can hear the difference in your voice, and then you just trust the madness that you're told to do.
I love that. You know what it is as well? It really highlights that singing is just more than the voice. It's like a lot,
really
like pretty much the whole body, to be fair. Like,
and mentally.
Massively. Yeah. I think it really emphasizes that. It's like a whole, I remember like some singing teachers I've seen in the past, they talk about like how much their abs hurt after singing and things like that, but just using the diaphragm and just pushing those notes out. And it blows your mind when you think, wow, it is. You know, you get some people who just think, oh, you know, it's easy to sing. You just stand in front of a mic and sing. But there's so much more to it. And all that prep, all of that, you know, experience, all of that training, you can hear it in a really good singer, which is obviously what I heard when I heard you at King's Cross that day. But it just comes out in you and you can hear it. And you're like, when you hear somebody really experienced and you think, God, there's that training, even just the way that I have a big thing about vibrato. And I think when I hear a really beautiful vibrato, just finish the notes off nice at the end, I think, wow, that's been worked on to perfection. And I really love that. And it's just things like that. It really does. You'll probably like, you know, think of singers yourself that you love and you think, God, I love their voice. And, you know, the way that they round vowels, the way that they end their notes, the way they push certain notes as well and just use their body to do that. I think it's incredible.
The rounding vowels. Yeah. I feel like that about Amy Manford. She played Christine in Phantom. She was like alternate Christine. Oh my gosh. Her voice is just, how I can't comprehend it, but, yeah, she's amazing. That's how I feel about her.
Oh, I mean, I can tell. So obviously speaking of fandom, and obviously we'll talk a little bit as well about your experience on the West End. So you obviously did Sweeney Todd prior to Phantom. Do you like, you were saying you don't remember much about Sweeney Todd, but is there any little that you can talk about with that?
I was 15 when I did it, 15 or 16, and now I look back, I just think I wish I had training before that, because I had no idea what I was doing at all. Like it was extremely amazing. So it was the London Coliseum, and I see their name in a program, and I'm like, oh God, I've worked with that person. But that was when I was doing my A levels.
Oh wow!
And I was in rehearsals. I was in the breaks. I would like be doing my coursework. So it was 2 weeks of rehearsals and 2 weeks of shows, I think, and it went so quickly, too quickly. I wish I could have had like double the amount of time, but I just remember it being so bizarre. And then afterwards I went back to school and I was like, did I just do that?
I love that.
Mad.
Sweeney Todd's incredible though.
I know. Oh my gosh. I'd never seen it before that.
Right.
I loved it. Yeah, it was amazing. And the cast were incredible. Yeah,
I was just going to say, like, so obviously surrounded by an incredible cast like that, and just the experience that you've got from that, and you can then take on to then, tell me about, like, obviously when Phantom came up, So were you put forward for Phantom? Were you recognized from Sweeney Todd, or like how did you get into that opportunity? You were playing Christine, right?
I was ensemble cover Christine.
Right. Okay. Cover Christine. Brilliant.
So it came about. Let me just start this with Phantom is my absolute. I've always said I will die happy if I one day go on stage in Phantom. It's my dream. I would cry about it all the time. All the time. Like, I just want to be in Phantom. And I had when I was at drama school, we did this amazing show, Lend Me a Tenor.
Okay.
And I had a role in it where opera singer in like a local opera club, like small theatre sort of thing. And a really famous opera singer comes to town, and this song is her trying to show him how amazing she is. And she's a really vulgar character that thinks she is like the best thing since sliced bread. And the whole song, she's going through all of the different operas and like trying to keep his attention and like, look, I can do this and then I can do that. And so it's completely like character acting, but you're singing opera, so you're showing off your voice. And I did that in our show in the Bridewell Theatre, and I then had an audition for Phantom Town. And I got to the first for cover Christine, and I was 20, and they were like, you're too young, no experience, just like maybe next time. But they really they gave me so much confidence, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't think I'd ever get in the room for Phantom until I was like well into my career. So it was absolutely incredible and a dream. And the audition was on Her Majesty's stage, and it was incredible. And then after when I graduated drama school and I had an agent, my agent said, oh well, they're auditioning for the tour, and because they've seen you for Town, I'm sure they'll remember you. And they did ask me back to audition, and I just remember going in for my final audition, and I sung Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again, and every other audition I'd had to sing multiple songs, and I did Wishing, and they were like, thank you very much, have a good day. And I thought, they don't want me, otherwise they'd have asked me to sing more. Oh my god, like I have to do something. And I just completely was like, balls to it. I said, just before I go, I have been practicing the end of Phantom of the Opera, like the big notes, can I just do them for you? I don't know who I thought I was. They were already running late and there were so many people waiting, and I was just like, this is either going to get me the job or lose me the job. But, and I did it, and yeah, I got the job. And I found out 5 minutes before my busking set, and I just cried the whole way through the busk.
Wow.
I can't tell you how incredible it was.
Oh my God, Lydia, that is like literally phenomenal. Like the fact that you had that opportunity and you just went, you know what, balls, I'm just going to ask. And had you not done that, who would have knows what would have happened? So that is incredible. And you know what? Sometimes we have to take risks in order to get the best opportunities, to get the best things out of life. And you just did that there. It could have gone either way. They might have just said, who the hell does she think she... But they didn't, they didn't. They just went, okay, wow, this girl's obviously got gumption. She's got commitment, and she really has got passion for Phantom.
She's obviously desperate.
But I mean, look where it got you. That's amazing. Incredible.
And what's mad about is that when I first heard that I had an audition for Phantom, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is terrifying. The casting team are so lovely. It feels really natural. Yeah, it was fun as well. It was fun. And it was, and I remember when I first went for Town, and I said to myself, look, I'm not going to be nervous because the chances are I won't even get a recall, and this is an excuse to sing on Her Majesty's stage. So the first audition I wasn't that nervous, and then when I got a recall I was like, okay, now I'm nervous.
It's getting real now. I love that. So what was it like then? So obviously, you'd been cast, then opening night, your first night stepping on the stage as Phantom. Talk me through that.
So we started rehearsals in January 2020.
Yep.
And I had all my costume fittings. My ensemble track, I believe I had the best costumes. It was amazing. Yeah. And then I hadn't started Christine rehearsals yet, because there's Principal Christine, and ours was Holly Ann Hull, absolutely incredible. We also had alternate Christine, and ours was Anouk Van Lark, and I love her as well. Like, it was amazing to watch the two of them, because they're such different Christines, but so amazing. And so I hadn't actually started Christine rehearsals yet. We did 3 weeks worth of shows before we had to cancel because of COVID. But those 3 weeks of being in that show, when I tell you, the overture at the beginning, every night I was literally like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I remember in the sitz probe, having the orchestra play in front of us, I was just bawling. I was just sitting at the back, like trying to hold it in. And then I remember the first bows, I couldn't comprehend that I was there. And I remember someone who, I think it was one of the creatives that said to me, I could just tell how much you love the show by your face in the bows. I just honestly could not believe that I was there.
Oh, wow. It
was amazing. It was the best 3 weeks of my life.
I mean, it sounds that is incredible. I mean, I've never done anything of obviously that scale, being in like the West End or anything, but I just remember like performing on stage. That's where I started, like acting on stage. And I remember like, I was like, I always did drama, as I said earlier, from a young age going, I always did drama. But every time, those 5 minutes before we go out on stage, I was always like, Jesus Christ. But then as soon as I got out on stage, it just feels like, as corny as what it sounds, but it just feels like you belong there. Yeah, completely. And you just get into it and you just give it your all. And that applause at the end is just everything, right?
Yeah.
Love that. And that atmosphere, it's really hard to explain to somebody. If you are not a performer, and you try to explain to somebody that feeling and just that, they just don't get it. But I absolutely loved every minute of time that I've had on stage. And I mean, I've been lucky enough to see Phantom twice. I've seen it on Broadway and the West End. So I've seen both. Yeah. West End was better.
But I think I haven't seen it on Broadway, but I feel like the West End is, because it's its home. Also, you describing the feeling, I thought of this the other day, and I was saying to the people we were watching the football with, I said, I am so happy for those people playing in the team, because I was like, that is how I would imagine having my career. Like, that's how I felt when I got Phantom Tour. And I was just like that, and that like electricity when they score the winning goal and stuff. That's the only way I could explain it to someone.
Yeah. No, you know what? Absolutely. When you're doing something that you love so much, you're so passionate about, and when it just plays so perfectly like that, and just that feedback. I mean, obviously, that football match, like in Wembley Arena, the feedback from the crowd. Oh my gosh. I have friends that were there and they said it was literally electric. No. And it is like that when you get that opening night of that brilliant performance, and like you see people jump up and just start applauding. You think that's for something that I've done. That it just blows your mind, doesn't it?
And we were so lucky as well, because all the cast, we seemed to get along so well. Everyone just clicked. We're still in touch. And I just feel like I was so lucky. I feel like it's you shouldn't meet your heroes, except I like my hero being the show. And it was the best. And I really want to go back into it again one day.
I was going to say, so where do you stand now with that? Because obviously, theatres and everything are going to open back up. They're opening back up slowly. So what does that mean for you?
So I did get another job. So I couldn't audition for Phantom. Was so elated because a lot of the people from our tour actually got Town Phantom. So it was really lovely to see that, they were carrying the flag. And unfortunately, the job that I had didn't start because of COVID. So at the minute, I'm just waiting for auditions to come about that I think I would be suitable for. And I'm busking in the meantime and in contact with my agent, just discussing what my next plan will be. But I'm like not giving up.
No, absolutely. Don't you dare. Not with that talent. Wow.
No, I won't.
Tell me, Lydia, like what would be, so take Phantom out of the equation. So say in the next 12 months, what would be like some of the roles that you think, oh my God, like if that landed on my doorstep, I would be doing that.
I would love to cover Cosette, Glinda.
Yeah.
I would love to, well, even just to be in either, Les Mis, Wicked, anything. Pretty much anything at this point. I just want to be on stage, but I would really like the opportunity to go for Wicked and Les Mis. That's a bit of a dream.
Yeah. Would you go Glinda over Elphaba?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
100%. Yeah, she's like soprano-y, isn't she?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. And I guess you avoid all the green makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
Hours of that. Talk me through, so obviously going way back from, the days of being in the church, when you were doing that choral singing right up to present day. I'm guessing obviously, Phantom is going to be like the moment probably of your career. Yeah. What have been the other little kind of personal highlights along the way where you think, you know what, that was a moment for me where I thought, yes, that was like a big win that really got me on the path?
I would say 100%. When I did Peter Pan, it was the talk of Ruislip. That show did so well. It was an incredible show. Obviously, we had the flying, so that was amazing. And it was just a brilliant show. The cast were great. The costumes were great. It had such a great reception. So that I felt super famous, because when I went to secondary school, even when I was in year 11, I had year seven say to me, "Oh, did you play Peter Pan? I saw it with the brownies." And I was like, "Yeah, I did."
Love that.
Form an orderly queue for my autograph. Yeah, so definitely that. And I would also say, when I got into busking, the first time I busked, I was so nervous. And after 5 minutes, my amp died because it was faulty. That 5 minutes, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be fine doing this. And everyone says to me, like, do you never get nervous? You have so many people walk past you. And my answer is no. It feels like I've got to the point where it feels like I'm singing in my room or singing in my front room for my mum and dad, because I was so shocked by how warm and encouraging and welcoming and generous the general public are.
Yeah.
I just thought I was going to be laughed at, or kind of people be like, shut up. But people seem to love it. And that really, really gave me such a boost. Also, not to brag, but someone from Horrible Histories now follows me on Twitter.
No way.
I feel like I've won at life. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah, he saw me busk. Kate Winslet. Yeah.
No.
And I didn't even I was like, oh, that lady's beautiful, but she looked really normal. Really, I think she was with her kid. I think she had like a rucksack on, and I did not realize it was her until she gave me money and she smiled, and I saw her teeth and her smile, and I was like, oh my God, that's Kate Winslet.
Oh my God.
No wonder I thought she was good looking. She's a blooming like A-lister.
Incredible.
So that was amazing. I know, she just stood and listened. And then there was a lady watching, and I turned to my mum and I said, "Mum, that lady looks like Sara Bareilles." And my mum was like, "No, it's not." And then when she came over at the end, I said, "You really look like Sara Bareilles." She said, "It's because I am she." And I was like, just to let
wow.
I have copied half of your Vienna performance, because I recorded it on Sky and literally went through and learnt your entire set list.
Yeah.
She gave me a hug and I was just absolutely floored. So yeah, I've lost my mind a few times busking with the amount of the people that you meet.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what? If I met Kate Winslet, I would be a puddle in the floor. As doing acting in the past, seeing her perform, she is, the Mayor of Easttown, which she's in recently, everything she does is one of my favorite films of all time, is a film called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which she is in. And
Spotless Mind.
God. Yeah, she is phenomenal in that film. She's great in anything. So if I saw her, I'd probably pass out.
Honestly, now I think, I'm like, of course. How did you not notice? How did you not recognize her? She just looked so normal. She had no makeup on and she looked gorgeous. And I was like, oh, what a pretty lady. And then when it was only when she came over and got close, And then I saw her teeth. I was like, oh my God.
It's her.
Oh my God. I turned to my mum and I was like, Mom.
Oh my God, I love that. I've had like, there's been a few, obviously with the job that I do, there's been a few celebrities that I've seen travel before, but one of the weirdest meetups with a celebrity ever, and this is going to sound insane, but I was in the cinema in Newcastle and I went to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so obviously the Tarantino film. And it was about halfway through. It's a long film, and I was like, oh, I really need to go up the loo. And I was with my brothers, so I was like, right, I'm gonna run the loo now. It seems like everything's quieted down. I'm gonna run now. So I quickly ran out, went into the loo, and as I was standing washing my hands, like this gentleman walked in, and I was like, I'm sure I recognize. Oh my God, that's Ian McKellen. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that is actually him. Now, he was standing at the urinal and he actually looked at me because I was staring at him. I was like, I probably shouldn't be looking. So I was like washing my hands and looking away. And I was like, oh my God, that's actually. And I put my hands in the hand dryer and I was like shaking. I was like, that is Ian McKellen. Oh. Like, that is Gandalf. That is Magneto. That is absolutely everything. And I was just like, oh my God. And I was like, I sat outside on the chair outside and I was like, I cannot let this opportunity go. So I waited for him to come out of the loo and I was like, Ian, I just have to say I adore you. And he was just like, oh, thank you very much. And just like off he went into the cinema. I don't even know what he went to see, but I was just like, I had to say something to him. But yeah.
It's so random. Like, you see celebrities and you're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, like, why are you here? But he was doing a tour of like the UK and like talking about all these different things that he'd done from like, you know, Shakespeare right up until Lord of the Rings and beyond. So he just happened to be in Newcastle that night and was doing a talk in one of the theaters and then just went to the cinema. Why not? I love that about him. But to meet him had I not gone at that moment to the loo about halfway through the film, wouldn't have known he was even there. And when I got back in, I like sat down with my brothers, whispered, and I was like, you will never guess who I've just seen in the loo. And they were like, what? Couldn't believe it, but it was phenomenal. But yeah, I love that. And I love like you met Sara Bareilles as well. I mean, she is one of the greats.
She actually, I don't know why I didn't even include her in the whole how I got into this. I watched her concert. I think it was live in Vienna on Sky, and I recorded it and I just watched it over and over again. And she's just ridiculously amazing and
a goddess.
Definitely massive inspiration to me.
Yeah. Oh man, definitely. I mean, her version of Time to Say Goodbye is for me still the ultimate. Wow. Yeah. So obviously, we've obviously spoke about some of your highlights there, Lydia. So going back to, your career and whatnot, going right back to the beginning up until present day, obviously COVID's probably been a big challenge as well with just starting, fandom and then everything happening there. But what have been some of the biggest challenges for you personally, where you've had to overcome, where you've thought, right, this has been really difficult, but I've overcome that now? What have been some of the big, like, meaty challenges that you've had to overcome throughout your career?
Probably there's obviously rejection when you think, oh, I've aced this audition or I'm perfect for this part and then don't get it. But I've got to a point where I'm so used to that. Like I've been auditioning since I was young and like I get it. When I was with Sylvia Youngs, I did a fair few auditions and I often got a recall. But I think I only got like 3 or 4. One of them was an episode of Jonathan Creek and like that was wicked. And my friend, I met someone in a pub through a friend and he said to me, were you in Jonathan Creek? And I was like, how did you know that? I was literally 12, blonde with glasses. How did you recognize me? Apparently he's just got one of those weird brains where he recognizes people like that. So felt kind of famous there. But yeah, definitely I'd say rejection, especially when you really, really want something. And the other thing I would say is comparison. When I went to drama school, I compared myself to everyone, and it wasn't until the last kind of term that I got that role in the show that I really, really wanted, that I felt like I was worthy of being there. So that was hard, but I also feel like that's a lesson that a lot of people do have to learn. And, when you go to drama school, you're in a pool of really talented people and you have to realize that what you bring to the table is completely different from what other people bring to the table, and you need to stop looking at them and focus on yourself. So probably that as well.
Yeah, you know what, rejection, that's a really, really good point. And that's something which any performer of any capability, doesn't matter what it's in, will face that at some point. And for all that the 50 no's that you get one yes, and it's the yes that keeps you going. And you've got to just sometimes not take it so personally. There's like things where I've gone for auditions before for like film, for example, and it's just literally where I've gone in, they've said, you're not exactly what we're looking for, sorry. No. And it's literally a 5-minute thing. Yep, sorry, wrong hair. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
And it's, when you're younger as well, I think you do take that really personally, because you build it up and you think, right, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do all these things. You don't get a chance to do that because they're just like, sorry, you are not what we need. And again, it's just, okay, take that knock on the chin, but then just keep going. Don't stop. I think that's one of the most important things. Don't let it kind of, shut you down and think, oh my God, this is the end of the road, because it's not. You just pick yourself up and you keep going back to other things. And that's what's important, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It can be really, really tough. It can be really challenging. It's so competitive, as you're saying. It's so easy to get into that bubble of, oh, I'm not as talented as them. Oh, they sing better than me. And it's not about that. It's just about, showing what your capabilities are, and the right people will find you for what is right for what they need you for. So, I just want to ask you as well, Lydia, like kind of final question. What would you say has been the biggest like learning point for you? So what I'd say by this is like, going back and thinking right back to the beginning up until present day, like what's been the big kind of learning, maybe points for you as well, we've gone, wow, I took a lot from that moment, or, that really surprised me. I didn't think that was going to maybe happen in that way. Like, what's been the big learning points for you during the whole process?
Probably it's the comparison thing, and realizing that you don't actually have to be the most talented singer or most talented dancer or actor, whatever. If you fit a role, and if you're what they're looking for, and if you're a nice person who's good to work with, then that's what matters at the end of the day. And also that I think everyone gets their moment, everyone gets their time to shine. And I have had people, when I was auditioning for jobs that they wanted, and when I got them, I have had people change the way they treat me, which is sad, but then I just have to kind of brush it off and think that, how would I feel if I was in that position? Well, I'm so often like get to the very end and like maybe don't get it. And I just think everyone's going to have their time to shine. And so I would say what I've learned is don't compare yourself to people, and accept that your time will come, everything will be fine. Don't stress about, oh, this person's younger than me and they're already doing this, because everyone's on a completely different timeline and time frame, and it's your journey and what you're doing. So I would say that.
I think that's great advice. I really, really do. That's one of the things where, people, they get so caught up in like, oh, there's this excuse, or there's this excuse. This is why this didn't happen this way. And it's people putting barriers in front of themselves to stop themselves from progressing. And people do that not even just in the performing world. They do that in many different ways. And you see it and you just think, wow, like you're shutting yourself down. You've got so much potential. Just put all that down and keep going, and that's what you're doing as well, which is incredible.
And everyone's on a completely different like path. I've got friends that have just had babies, and I am just like, oh my God, that is so far from what I want to do right now. But what I want to do is obviously so far from what they want to do. So I just think comparing your life to other people's and like, it's just never ends up well, because you're not them, and you're never going to be them. So pursue your own happiness, not someone else's. That's what I always say. So absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. All right, Lydia. So we chose, between us, we chose 5 of our top favorite tracks from musicals. So I don't know yours, you don't know mine. So we're just going to go through them one at a time, and we'll have a little discussion about some of them. So Lydia, would you like to go first? Yes, I'm going to go with an obvious Phantom situation, but maybe not so much an obvious song.
Okay.
So it's not really so much a song as it is a section, but there is a part in Phantom, and in the script I think it's Wandering Child, and it's when the Phantom sees Christine. I think she's just done Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again. She's visiting her father's grave, and the Phantom sees her and he's like, wandering child, so lost, so helpless, yearning for my guidance, trying to act like he's her dad to lure her away. But it's just it's really twisted. But at the same time, he sounds so like gentle, and I just think the contradiction between the two is just amazing. And also, it's such a lovely tune. So that, and then it goes into like a big like trio between Christine, Raoul, and the Phantom, and it's just chills.
Oh, I love that. That's so specific from Phantom as well, because everyone kind of thinks, oh, just go for like the big number, but that's such a specific moment. I love that so much. I'm always really about the specific as well. I really, really love that. That's great. I love it. So my first one, it's more of just like a track, but so it is the track Once Upon a December from Anastasia. Have you seen Anastasia?
I've never seen Anastasia. I've heard a few people singing, like at drama school, a lot of people, but I've not heard Once Upon a December.
Oh, it's beautiful. So it's like a slow waltz, and when you hear it, it's very
lovely.
Yeah, I love it. And I remember, so I'd never seen the film, and obviously it's an animated film, and I maybe only saw it like say 3-4 years ago when my partner at the time was like obsessed with it, and I was like, right, we'll watch it. And I was like, actually, that is a pretty good animated film. And then it came on when I was in New York in 2019. There was like a small window when that was being performed. I was like, right, this is happening. So we went to see it, like obviously on the West End, on Broadway, and oh my God, incredible. And that moment there was like spirits on the stage like dancing with each other like to the waltz, and it was like a big choral piece as well. Like once Anastasia had sang her section, it was just stunning. So honestly,
I'm gonna have to watch it, I think.
Yeah, do it. Honestly, it's incredible. It's one of the ones that kind of slips under the radar sometimes, but I honestly recommend it. It's a good one, man. All right, Lydia, your next one.
Okay. I've written them down in my notes. Okay, my next one is it's Hello from the Book of Mormon.
Oh my God, yes.
I love the Book of Mormon.
Yes.
So much.
Love it.
It's one of my favorite shows, and when I first went to see it, I was just pissing myself the whole way through.
Same.
And I just love the whole intro to the show is so sarcastic and brilliant. And I just think I love all of the songs in that. Absolutely iconic. I love the line like Bono, I am Africa. And then when he's like, and if you order now, we'll also throw in a set of steak knives. Yeah. Just like so many random bits throughout that show make me absolutely die. Yeah. But yeah, I really, really like Hello.
Great.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even, honorable mention, Turn It Off.
I was just going to say Turn It Off was my favorite. Just turn it off.
Yeah.
Like, that is a banger. Love that. The thing I love about like the Book of Mormon is it's one of them shows I never expected to laugh as much as what I actually did. And it's weird going to a musical and laughing that much, but oh my God, amazing. Just, you go in there, as long as you don't take it serious, it's just...
No. And sometimes I was like, am I allowed to laugh at this?
Same.
But it's just everything takes the mick out of everything. And I just think it's so clever. Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah, great shout. I love that. I've got one of I've got my obviously Wicked mug with me here, but I've got a Book of Mormon one actually. Keep calm and turn it off is what it says. Love it.
Oh, I love it.
So my next one. Okay, so this one is really well known. It's quite a big number, but I have seen the person who wrote this song sing it live. So this is She Used to Be Mine from Waitress.
Oh.
So
what, Sara Bareilles?
Yeah. So when she did the limited stint, it was actually the beginning of February 2020, before everything shut down. She did a stint of it when she was in London, performing, playing the lead role. So I was like, right. I said to my friend, I was like, right, we are going immediately. So we went down and saw her, and my God, it just, the first time I saw it was in New York actually, and it was a different performer there, and she was incredible. But then as soon as I heard it was it was Sara Bareilles who wrote all the music, and I was like, I need to hear her sing it because I love her.
Yeah.
That song is just, for me, one of the best musical songs ever written. Have you sung it before?
Yeah, it's amazing. No, I haven't. Yeah. But I've heard people sing it, and I just think I'm not even going to try. the trills, oh my, I like listening to it, and I feel like if I were to try it, I'd muller it. But and it was so bizarre how Sara Bareilles went from like all I heard of her was Love Song,
Yeah.
and then suddenly Waitress comes out and it's music and lyrics by Sara Bareilles, and I was like, oh my gosh, what a jump! But
Yeah.
how amazing!
Mm.
Yeah,
She is super talented.
it's an icon. It is a bit of an iconic show now, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. I can't wait to see it again now it's back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm here for it. So what's your next one, Lydia?
My next one is the one from Lend Me a Tenner that I did in my final show of LSMT.
Yeah.
It's called May I Have a Moment, and it's sung by Diana Devane.
Ooh.
And that is my go-to audition song. It's my show-off song, because you show off your character acting, but also the fact that you can actually sing super high, and it's just so dramatic and extra and hilarious. It's so funny. I've never been like a funny person. I've always been the person that like makes jokes, tries to be funny, no one laughs, and then like I get awkward and like make it worse and dig myself a hole. But that song makes me feel like I'm hilarious.
Like
so
it.
Definitely.
Yeah, you know, I've never heard it, so I've actually written it down, so I'm going to go and listen to it after this. But yeah, I love that.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh man, I've totally got that.
You've got to watch the clip of it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hilarious. You've got to see it in its context, because she's running around the stage with like a toilet brush in her mouth. It's a bit mad, but yeah, you have to watch it.
Cool. I will. Send me a link after this, and I'll definitely.
I will.
Cool. All right. So my next one again is from a big show, but it's not actually from the film. It's just from the stage musical. So this is "He Lives in You" from The Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the track. It's what Rafiki sings.
I saw The Lion King when I was quite young, so I don't remember that. But I feel like
you'll probably know it. So it's not
I
in
do
the
love Lion King.
I mean, it's phenomenal. That opening when everyone comes out to the auditorium, chills, literally.
And the puppetry and the costumes, it's mad.
Phenomenal. Yeah. But yeah, so He Lives in You. So that's like, obviously, it's when, you know, in the film, it's when the Disney film, it's when like, you know, Simba goes and he sees like Mufasa in the sky and he talks to him and says, you know, remember who you are. And it's kind of like in the stage musical, you've got like Rafiki singing the song all about like saying, you know, Mufasa lives in you, you are the rightful king. But that song for me is just, there's certain sections of that song I've never heard done in musicals before, and I just absolutely adore it. And the time I've only seen Lion King once, but the singer who played Rafiki, her voice was just undeniable. So
really,
yeah, incredible, especially on that track. So honestly, I'll send you a link. It's like,
okay, yeah.
It like gives me chills.
Have you heard? Did you ever hear of? There was a show called Cafe Society Swing, and I think it happened in East London. But I went to see it, and it was about the first, I think, because it was a while ago. But I think it was about the first integrated like jazz swing club, and
wow.
It was absolutely incredible. And I remember this one girl, I think I can't remember, she played someone really, really famous that has completely slipped my mind. But she did this amazing song. It's a traditional folk song called something like Lord Randall, My Son. And I will never forget it for 2 reasons. Number one, because someone had a heart attack halfway through and she had to start again. Yeah, not good. That was scary. But also because I had it in my head the whole time, and I could never ever find a recording of it, because it was so. You know, you can have the traditional kind of like folky song on YouTube, you can hear it, but I couldn't hear her version anywhere, and I've never forgotten it. So that was just a random nugget of.
No, I love that. I had a similar thing when I went to see Warhorse, and there was like a folk. Have you seen Warhorse? So,
no.
Okay, so like there's a folk singer comes out and does like a few songs throughout Warhorse.
Yeah.
And I heard him, I was like, who is that guy and why has he never been in my life before? Like literally came out just playing like guitar and just giving these incredible folk songs. And I was like, wow, that guy is like incredible. So it's weird, isn't it? When something catches your ear that you
sticks with you.
Yeah, you're not expecting, and then you just clicks, you go, that is it. That is it. And I love that. And that'll stick with you forever now. Love it.
It will.
All right, cool. So, Lydia, What have we got next?
My next one is the bit ABC Cafe from Les Mis. Red, the blood of angry man.
Yeah.
Oh, it just makes me want to go to like fight. I just love it.
Yeah.
I love the tune of it, and I love their voices, and yeah, 100% love it.
Agreed. Like Les Mis,
not much else to say.
No, you know what, you've said it. Like Les Mis for me, the stage version of it is the version. The film I wasn't a big fan of, although I did love Anne Hathaway, but yeah, like the stage version blew my face off, literally. And that, as you say, that particular, it gives you goosebumps. You're like, these guys are killing it.
And I'm so glad that I've seen it both the original in the on the Revolve and also the revised, like I think it was the tour version. I just think that the music is just incredible.
Yeah,
it's, again, iconic. I would love to do Les Mis.
Oh yeah, and you know what, it'll happen one day. I'll be seeing you in London in Les Mis. It'll happen.
Manifesting it.
It'll happen. Positive energy. All right, so my next one, again, this is the one that kind of slips under the radar a little bit, but it is an absolute tune. This is, for me, is like if you've got one of them big belty voices, you can nail this song. So this is the song I Am Here from The Color Purple. Are you having a moment there? Yeah.
I'm having a moment.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the show, but I know the music, and that song is unbelievable. And I remember seeing the film. I think I was probably too young to watch it, but I cried for the whole day. And then the whole next day, whenever I'd think about it, I would just cry into my bowl of pasta, because I just remembered the scene where she's being separated from her sister and they're doing the hand clap game, and I just it tore a hole in my chest. But that song gives it, I think it's the bit in the film when Whoopi Goldberg kind of gets her own back, and that song encompasses that for me, when she's like, I love that.
Great shout. You know what, Whoopi Goldberg was phenomenal. A lot of people think of like Ghost and everything, like Sister Act, but
I think of The Color Purple.
The Color Purple, any day.
And Oprah Winfrey was in it, wasn't she?
Right, like young Oprah Winfrey, she killed it. But
incredible.
I mean, I Am Here for me is the perfect track where it has such dynamics in it, where it starts off really kind of just a lot more relaxed, a bit more stripped back, and then when it gets into that big build and that blast, oh my god, I could listen to it for days. And
like the depth of meaning, the whole, oh my gosh, unbelievable. I feel like that is the most like cathartic part. It's amazing.
It's just everything. I love it, and I love that you can geek out with it with me.
100%. My final one is, I don't know if this counts because it's not actually a stage musical, but it's a film musical.
Fine.
I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan.
Oh, great shout. That
makes me want to work out. And not much makes me want to work out, but that song, it just pumps me up so much. I love it. And I love the like montage of her, you know, getting stronger and then using her brains at the end to get up on the pole thing and get the arrow. I just love it.
I love that. That's a great shout, and it should be a stage musical. It really should. I
think so too.
Right?
100%.
Yeah,
that would be wicked.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's a great
Don't know how they would do the avalanche, but
I mean, they could make it work.
Would give it a go.
Yeah. If there's anyone who could work out. Yeah, great shout. I love that. So my last one is a really obvious one, but it is still a classic, and it is just, I've seen this show 4 times, and every time I hear it, it's obviously the halfway point before the curtain comes down and we have the break, but it is obviously the song Defying Gravity from Wicked. Yeah, of course it is. So that moment when she sits atop the broomstick and raises as she's singing, it's just everything. It's incredible.
It gives you chills.
Yeah, every single time. I love it.
It honestly takes your breath away.
Yeah, it does. It literally does.
And seeing different people do it and like make it their own as well.
Yeah.
I could never, those notes comfortably every night. Absolutely not. That takes a certain type of voice. And yeah, like I'm here, sort of really belty, the power, but the absolute powerhouses that play Elphaba, unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, they have got to be on it. Like what? So we're talking like matinee and evening show. Like how long are they? Sometimes are they doing it for like what, 8-9 months are they contracted for?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, load. Yeah. And also what I find like amazing about it is that in that moment, you are literally, you have this whole entire show and there is one person that you're rooting for.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I would love to play Glinda, but at that point, I'm like, no,
it's Team
Elphaba is. I want the whole of Oz to go down, and Elphaba to just be like. Also, Dr. Dillerman, because he's a bit of a legend as well.
But yeah, what a show! I remember, like, I saw it for the first time when I was in sixth form, actually, and I was like, "Where's this been all of my life?" And then, went to see it. It's like it obviously tours quite often, so I've seen it up here. When it's been up here, I've seen it twice in London. But yeah, it always delivers. I like sent my mum and dad down. I was like, you guys need to watch the show because my mum's a huge Wizard of Oz fan as well. And I was like, you need some Wicked in your life. And she went down. She was like, that is the best thing I've ever seen. I was like, I know.
That was the first kind of proper musical that my parents went to see, and that's what got them into it.
Nice.
And then this was kind of like as I was learning what musical theatre was. So actually they took me to see Wicked for my birthday, and it was the first musical that I remember seeing. And that's what kind of started my family like loving the staginess.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, Wicked.
What a great one to start off with as
the
well.
OG. And my dad was always like, I don't want to go and see Les Mis. It doesn't do anything for me. And then he watched the film and he was like, oh my God, I need to go and see it. And I'm just sitting there like, mate, if you like the film, watch the show, watch the original. And he's seen it like a million times. He loves it. Oh my God, how did I not include this? This isn't even honorable mention. Everything else is an honorable mention compared to this. This sounds a bit dark. Before I went away with my family, I had to write a will because we were all coming together. And I planned my funeral, and I was like, I want this played so that the curtains close at the key change, the Phantom of the Opera overture. Yeah. When I tell you the chandelier rising and then the the key change, that just every single time I'm like why didn't I it's my funeral song, so
love it.
Absolutely.
I love that.
I'd walk up the aisle to that if I found someone who a bit dark.
I love that though.
What about you?
For me, if I had to choose an extra, it could probably be Come What May from Moulin Rouge. I just think it's an incredible duet, and it's one of the first songs I ever sang. And I just think, it's beautiful. I'm not a huge fan of Moulin Rouge itself, but that song when they're up on the roof,
really,
everything like that, incredible. It's an anthem. So probably that,
yeah.
So Lydia, I mean, I loved that, by the way. I love going through top fives with people. It's just nice that we had such different ones as well. There was no crossover or anything like that, which always works the best. Love that stuff. So Lydia, so we're just obviously going to wrap up now with any final words. So is there any kind of last bit of like parting advice or any like words of wisdom that you'd like to share with anyone who is thinking about getting into, performing or, auditioning, anything like that you want to leave us with?
Anyone who is thinking about it, absolutely just go for it. If that, like, I'm always saying I would not be happy if this wasn't, so many people who are desperate for this kind of career have the opinion of like, this is the be all and end all for me. If that is how you feel, go for it. Do not take no for an answer. And finally, to anyone who is around someone who wants to do this, please do everything you can to support them, because had it not been for my family picking me up every time I needed a boost, physically driving me to auditions, and my parents have I've been busking for 5 years. They've never missed a busk unless they were sick or on holiday.
Wow.
And the support from my family, I wouldn't have gone to drama school. Honestly, I wouldn't have got anywhere near where I am today, because they have given me absolutely everything that they possibly could. Anyone that has a kid who would like to go into the arts, I know the arts, it's a really fickle industry, and it's difficult and obviously always challenging, but it's so 100% worth it. And when you have a support network behind you, your success rate is going to be magnified. Really support your arty friends.
Yeah, you know what, I agree. And that's such a really good message to leave with, because I think when you pursue anything, in life, whether it be performing, whether it be, whatever it may be that you are interested and invested in, surround yourself with the people that support you for your successes. Surround yourself with those positive people who say, yes, go for it, do it. Because sometimes in life we get surrounded by so many people who are like, what are you doing that for? Like, it's a bit of a waste of time. And it pulls you away from that straight away. So get rid of that out of your life and just focus on the people that pick you back up. The people, as you say, drive you to them auditions, who want to see you do well. Bring that into your life as much as you can. Because
at the end of the day, as far as we know, we have one life. You might as well do what you want.
Exactly.
If you're not hurting anyone, do it.
Yeah. You know what? The way you just put that there, if it's not hurting anyone, just do it. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Lydia, where can everybody find you on social media? Like, if you've got a website, anything like that, just hit all of your socials.
Instagram, I'm very active at Lydia.Gerrard. That's LYDIA.GERRARD.
Yeah.
Not related to Stephen Gerrard. Wouldn't mind having his money though. Then my YouTube is youtube.com/Lydia Gerrard. My Facebook, I have a public Facebook page that I do live streams on. Free live streams if you're ever bored. And they're always, they stay on my Facebook page, and it's facebook.com/Lydia Gerrard music. Or if you just go on Facebook and type in Lydia Gerrard, you'll see a headshot. That'll be me.
Wow, I love that, Lydia. And obviously everybody who is listening right now, go and listen to Lydia's voice, because she is amazing. And I'm not just saying that. I lived that experience. I was there in King's Cross and literally stopped and was like, okay, this girl's fantastic. I need to listen to this immediately. Go and check her out, because you will not regret it. She is amazing. So yeah, obviously, if you want to follow the podcast, make sure that you check out everywhere that you follow podcasts on. It is just Into You Podcast. Type that in. We are there. We are also there on Instagram and Twitter. That is Into You Podcast. You can follow me as well. I'm obviously Straughan87. That is on Instagram and on Twitter as well. So if you want to come and give me a follow, then yeah, come and follow me on those platforms as well. We are also on YouTube. So if you type in my name, Adam Straughan, you will find this on YouTube as well. So Lydia, I just want to say again, a huge thank you for taking the time to sit down and chat with me. This has been a lot of fun. It's been really great to know you as an artist. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for supporting someone you didn't even know. I can't tell you. Some people, just supporting people you do know is one thing, but supporting people who you have you've never had a conversation is absolutely, thank you. I wish there were more people in the world like you.
Yeah.
You're wonderful. And I hope to work with you one day.
Yeah, that would be amazing to share the stage with you. Honestly, it would be a pleasure.
That would be wicked.
Yeah, it'll happen. I'll be Alpha, you'll be Glinda.
We'll probably make each other laugh. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I am here for that.
Thank you.
Wow. No, honestly, anytime. Thank you so much, Lydia. Take care.
Thank you.